At Healing Oracle, we get many messages about diet and sugar. With Mary Jewel's assistance, I've put together this short video on the subject. Please allow me to share a basic list of the top 5 reasons that processed or refined sugars are bad for you, and worse when you have a cancer of any form. So, before we jump right in, we would have to first talk about glucose and how it's broken down in a healthy cell, and then we'll jump into that top 5 list. Okay, the breakdown of glucose to provide energy is called glycolysis. In a healthy cell, glucose is converted in the cellular cytoplasm in a multi-step process to pyruvate, which passes into the mitochondria, which we call power stations in essence, to be burned in another 10-step process in the presence of oxygen. This process involves electron transfer in the mitochondrial membrane. Healthy cells can use other forms of food, like fats, as precursors. Cancer cells, however, cannot. They can only derive energy from glycolysis and fermentation in the cytoplasm. The mitochondria have been knocked out of the process. A further complication is that under normal circumstances, the mitochondria regulate the cell. If something is flawed in the cell, the mitochondria can cause cell death, known as apoptosis. This mechanism is also lost in cancer cells. Even if oxygen is restored to the cells, there is little evidence that mitochondria can switch back on again. Cancer cells need glucose. In fact, they can make it themselves. Not enough to grow, but enough to survive. They need you to feed them glucose in order to grow. They make their energy from the first step of the normal process, but in the absence of oxygen, and it is called anaerobic glycolysis. The waste product from this process of anaerobic glycolysis is a form of lactic acid, which can only be broken down by the liver. So, the lactic acid passes from the cancer cell to the liver where it's broken down. The waste product of that process is glucose. This then passes back around the body to feed the cancer cell. The cycle can easily feed any existing cancer cells in the body and promote growth and the eventual takeover by the cancer. Of course, as cancers grow, they need more and more glucose, but don't worry. The hospital dietitians will tell you that if you're having chemotherapy, you should eat lots of calories from fatty foods, dairy, and glucose. This is to protect the 7% of patients that experience serious weight loss, cachexia, due to the drugs. And we couldn't possibly have drugs killing people now, could we? In the defense of government dietitians, they are so overworked they only get time to see the people who are seriously ill from cachexia. And that's the wasting away a weak state of one's body during a chronic illness. The majority of patients have little or no problems, but still get the booklet to read. Now, we're going to talk about eating glucose at your peril. And yeah, if you have cancer, eat glucose and sugary foods at your peril. There is plenty of research from places such as Harvard Medical School to support this view. In 2012, Cancer Watch covered research that high fructose corn syrup, HFCS, could be even worse than common sugar. You'll find it quite abundant in those fizzy soft drinks, soda, pop, whatever you want to call it. There is some evidence that if you starve cancer cells of glucose and HFCS, they can sometimes use glutamine from your cells as a reserve fuel supply. But glucose is the main source. Glutamine is like a back resource that several systems in your body depend on. Cancer cells like to take the easy path to refined sugars, full stop. So, the most important rule in fighting cancer is this: 100% cut out common sugars, in your chocolates, cakes, biscuits, ice creams, colas, sodas, Ribena, processed, packaged food, that's a good start. And be warned, healthy honey is 50% glucose and fructose. No sugar replacements, man. Just, sugar feeds cancer. So, get with the program. Patrick Quillian, PhD, RD, CNS, former Director of Nutrition for Cancer Treatment Centers of America in Tulsa, Oklahoma, wrote, "It puzzles me why the simple concept sugar feeds cancer can be so dramatically overlooked as part of a comprehensive cancer treatment plan." That's in Nutrition Science News, April 2000. And, well, we agree. Sugar is cancer's favorite food. There are at least 5 reasons that cancer and sugar are best friends. Number 1. Affinity. Cancers love sugar. That is why refined carbohydrates like white sugar, white flour, high fructose corn syrup, soft drinks are extremely dangerous for anyone trying to prevent or reverse cancer. Sugar essentially feeds tumors and encourages cancer growth. Cancer cells uptake sugar at 10 to 12 times the rate of healthy cells. In fact, That is the basis of PET, positive emission tomography scans, one of the most accurate tools for detecting cancer growth, by the way. PET scans use radioactively labeled glucose to detect sugar-hungry tumor cells. When patients drink the sugar water, it gets preferentially taken up into the cancer cells, and they light up. The 1931 Nobel laureate in medicine, German Otto Warburg, PhD, discovered that cancer cells have a fundamentally different energy metabolism compared to healthy cells. He found that malignant tumors exhibit increased glycolysis, a process whereby glucose is used as a fuel by cancer as compared with normal cells.
Number 2, acidity. Warburg also found that cancers thrive in an acidic environment.
Sugar is highly acidic, with a pH of about 6.4. It is 10 times more acidic than the ideal alkaline pH of blood at 7.4.
3. Immunity. Sugar suppresses a key response known as phagocytosis.
Phagocytosis is the process of ingestion and digestion by cells of solid substances. For example, other cells, bacteria, bits of necrotic tissue, foreign particles. It's the Pac-Man effect of the immune system. Consuming 10 teaspoons of sugar can cause about a 50% reduction in phagocytosis. If you consider the sugar in your cereal, the syrup on your waffles, pancakes, the sugar added to your morning coffee and tea, the sugar in cold beverages like iced tea, lemonade, pop, the HFCS in prepared food, salad dressing, and ketchup, and of course sugary snacks and desserts, you can see how easy it is to suppress your immune system significantly. Not only the amount of sugar, but also the frequency of ingesting sugar is relevant to immune function. In one study, research subjects were found to have nearly a 38% decrease in phagocytosis 1 hour after ingesting a moderate amount of sugar. 2 hours later, the immune system was suppressed 44%. Immune function did not recover completely for a full 5 hours.
4. Activity.
In most people, when sugar in any form is consumed, the pancreas releases insulin. Breast tissue, for example, contains insulin receptors, and insulin is a powerful stimulant of cell growth. One group of Australian researchers concluded that high levels of insulin and insulin-like growth factor, IGF, may actually be causative of cancers of the breast, prostate, endometrium, and pancreas. A broad study conducted in 21 countries in Europe, North America, and Asia concluded that sugar intake is a strong risk factor contributing to higher breast cancer rates, particularly in older women. A 4-year study at the National Institute of Public Health and Environmental Protection in the Netherlands compared 111 biliary tract cancer patients with 480 healthy controls. Sugar intake was associated with more than double the cancer risk.
And number 5. Sugar ingestion is a contributing factor to obesity, which is a known cause for cancer.
Obesity also negatively affects survival. More than 100,000 cases of cancer each year are caused by excess body fat, according to the American Institute for Cancer Research. These include esophageal, pancreatic, kidney, gallbladder, breast, and colorectal cancer. One note about sugar substitutes. Although we're against sugar, don't think for a second that I'm recommending using artificial substitutes. Sweeteners containing aspartame, saccharin, or sucralose have been shown to contribute to bladder cancer, lymphoma, leukemia, according to the National Institute of Environmental Health Sciences. Below, I've given to you a bunch of references that you can look up. These aren't going to be in the form of links, however, these are publications that you can publicly access. Just Google them and look this stuff up for yourself. All the information is out there, people. Anyway, guys, take care, and for Healing Oracle, this is Robert J. Morris out.